Hello, howdy everybody from Randy Bowles, Randy Jimmy James Bowles, toiling in obscurity. Here's a story for you, and it's all about trying to rise above obscurity in the music world. Because if you're a musician or even a storyteller, you need to be known a certain amount. You have to be known, otherwise, you're not going to be able to pay your rent, eat food, more than once a day anyway. You have to be known. And so you have to do a lot of hard work, and you have to do a little thing they call dues paying. That's right. And this story is all about how I started paying my dues when I moved to Seattle. I'd already been paying dues in Yakima, but when I came here, I learned what it was like to really pay dues in the big city. And I'd like to read the story to you now. Sit back, relax, enjoy. But guess what? In the middle of it, I'm going to play the electric toothpick just for you. Yes. Okay, it's really called a strum stick. But I used to have a pickup right here where that gray spot is. That's where the pickup was. And I played it through an amplifier, and someone walked up to me and said, "What are you playing, the electric toothpick?" And I thought, dude, I should pay you for that. But I didn't. In fact, he tipped me. So double plus good for me. Let's get back to the story. I want you to know up front it has two titles. It has the title I wish it had, and then it has the title it has to have. So I'll give you the title I wish it had first. Tales of a Folk Singer. Would you like to be on TV? Now here's the real title. Tales of a Folk Singer. Would you like to be humiliated on TV? At the age of 25, I was a Seattle, Washington Pike Place Market busker. That is, I played for tips at the bustling Seattle institution, which was frequented by locals and tourists alike. My musical partner during the winter of 1974 was a gifted young guitarist and singer, Mike Sixball Stingle. Mike, who was 20 years old, had recently traveled far from his Pennsylvania home to ensconce himself in the amazing city that was Seattle. Having played a good deal of music in his home territory, he wanted to see how he would fare here. Mike and I met at the market. Having admired each other's style, we started jamming, and soon we formed a duo. Mike and I each had success playing in the smaller towns we originated from. We were not exactly green rookies. We'd been in electric bands, we'd played the best venues in our respective hometowns. We simply desired to make our mark in a bigger city. Most performers didn't just move here and start playing at the very best venues that same day. Everybody had to get his or her foot in the door. That's that dues paying. And a good way to get started in Seattle in the 70s was to busk at Pike Place Market. This allowed us musicians to put music out there for people to hear while making a little money. Plus, it provided good exposure. You never knew who might walk by and offer you a real job, performing in a nightclub or at a big party or on TV. Considering the fact that many folks treated us as if we were one step up from beggars, Mike and I worked very hard to be professional. We played every day, we practiced, we learned new tunes, we acted appropriately, looked good and sounded good, and we made a pretty nice living, thanks to the generous tips we received from passersby who often expressed how impressed they were with our music. We were accustomed to hearing folks make comments such as, "You're too good to be playing on the street." Then they drop a fiver into our hat. On the other hand, there would always be someone who'd say something like, Why don't you bums get a job? People definitely fell into two camps: those who enjoyed our music and appreciated the market buskers, and those who didn't. Mike and I soldiered on throughout the cold winter months in spite of any negative comments we were on the receiving end of, because we knew if we kept trying our best, we'd end up playing professional gigs for good money. Mike and I had managed to build a reputation as one of the market's better musical attractions. One day when we were performing under the iconic market clock, the best busking spot in the entire market, a Pike Place Market Merchants Association bigwig approached us with an interesting proposition. He asked, "Would you like to be on TV? Cairo TV is filming a story at the market today, and they need to film an act. Well, we'd like you guys to do it. It would be great exposure." Well, Mike and I thought it over for about a half a second and said we'd be glad to participate. So the suit told us to show up at a particular spot at a particular time later that day, and we'd be on TV. Mike and I immediately started batting around song titles, trying to figure out which would be the very best song to play for the camera. After all, this could be the big break we were hoping for. We wanted to be seen and heard at our very best. Cairo 7 was Seattle's CBS affiliate. One never knew. If the story was good enough, it might even make the CBS nightly news. We finally decided upon our version of a great Mason Prophet song from 1973 entitled "Stony River." It was a beautiful song with nostalgic, country-esque lyrics. It offered an opportunity for Mike and me to demonstrate our fine harmony singing. And let me just give you a bit of the song right now. Just like we did it in 1974. Waiting where the stony river is a-rollin', waiting where your sorrows fade away. I'll be a-waitin' where the stony river is rollin', I'll be a-waitin' where your sorrows fade away. When the appointed time arrived, Mike and I were right where we were supposed to be, all tuned up, warmed up, and ready to perform. A Cairo cameraman spoke with us, telling us just sing into the camera, just be natural, do what you normally do. He said he'd give us the sign. We waited patiently while the cameraman and sound person set up their lights, focused the cameras, checked the sound levels. We finally received the go sign, and Mike and I proceeded to just nail Stony River. We put our hearts and souls into our performance. Well, having a good deal of professional experience up our sleeves, we appeared as comfortable as if we were in our own living room. When we completed the song, the cameraman shook hands with us and complimented us up one side and down the other. And other folks who had witnessed the filming came up and congratulated us on our fine performance. We felt pretty good knowing we had given it our very best. Mike and I rushed over to his house, gathered friends and his roommates together, and grabbed some beers. At 5 p.m. we turned on the TV to Cairo 7 to see our triumphant Seattle television debut. Well, we sat through stories about car crashes, gas prices, weather conditions, football scores. Practically the entire hour-long newscast went by. But at last, one of their talking heads said, "When we come back, we'll have a story about the Pike Place Market." We waited through a couple of commercials touting an appliance store and a car dealership. Then the anchors' faces reappeared on our TV screen. The camera closed in on the anchor's beautiful countenance, and she uttered the words, "There's a lot of commotion at the market these days. Street singer causing all kinds of difficulties." Cut to Mike and Randy, waiting where the stony river is rolling. I spent the next 40 years not watching Cairo 7. Okay, the anchor did make this admission at the end of the story. Well, today at least, the street singers were very harmonious. Mere months after our being humiliated by the market and Cairo 7, Mike and I, joined by our good friend Dobro player, it's easy for you to say, Randy Knowles. Yes, I'm Randy Bowles and he's Randy Knowles. We played on the main stage at the Country KO Radio Picnic at Seattle Center's iconic Mural Amphitheater for a large crowd of country music fans who came to see me. After I finished in 5th place in the United States and Canada in the Grand Ole Opry's 50th anniversary talent search. Take that, Cairo. Thank you, everyone.